The year is 1274. The most powerful army the world has ever seen has just set sail for Japan. 900 ships, 40,000 soldiers. The Mongol Empire, the same force that had crushed China, Persia, and Russia, was now pointing at the islands of the rising sun. The Japanese had less than half that number, no experience against the Mongols, no allies, no escape. And then, something no one expected happened. Something the Japanese would call the divine wind, a word the entire world knows today, but almost no one knows where it came from. Kamikaze. Welcome to Curioholics Epic Chronicles, where we tell the stories history tried to bury. Today, we're talking about one of the most epic and forgotten invasions in history. The day the Mongol Empire tried to conquer Japan twice, and both times nature destroyed them. If you want the real story of Miyamoto Musashi next week, the samurai who fought over 60 duels to the death and never lost a single one, subscribe right now. We publish every Friday at 7 p.m., and this is exactly the kind of story we live for. Let's go. To understand why the Mongol invasion of Japan is so extraordinary, you first need to understand who the Mongols were in 1274. Kublai Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan, ruled the largest land empire in human history, from Korea to Poland, from Siberia to Vietnam. This man had conquered China, one of the most advanced civilizations in the world. In less than 2 decades, he had crushed the Abbasid caliphs of Baghdad. He had brought Korea to its knees. Nobody said no to Kublai Khan. Nobody except Japan. In 1266, Kublai Khan sent ambassadors to the Japanese shogunate with a very clear message: submit or suffer the consequences. The Japanese received the message, read it carefully, and didn't respond. They ignored it. They did it again in 1268, and in 1271, and in 1272. Every time, silence. For Kublai Khan, a man who had inherited the throne of the most feared conqueror in history, this snub was unforgivable. In 1274, he made his decision. If Japan wouldn't come to him, he would go to Japan. On October 19th, 1274, the Mongol fleet arrived at Hakata Bay on the island of Kyushu. What the Japanese samurai saw from the shore was unprecedented, an armada of 900 ships unloading soldiers, equipped with weapons Japan had never seen. Catapults, launching explosive bombs, poisoned arrows, coordinated infantry formations. The cultural clash was brutal. Japanese samurai fought following a strict code of honor. They would present themselves before the enemy, declare their lineage, challenge to individual combat. It was a ritual. The Mongols didn't follow rituals. They advanced in tight formations, fired in mass volleys, and simply crushed whatever was in front of them. The Japanese were pushed inland. The situation was desperate. And then, that night, the storm came. A typhoon swept through Hakata Bay. The Mongol commanders, afraid of losing their fleet, ordered a retreat to the ships. The typhoon sank between 200 and 300 vessels. Approximately 13,000 soldiers died. The Mongols withdrew. Japan had survived, for now. Stay with me, because what happened 7 years later was even more extraordinary. Kublai Khan came back. With twice the ships, 4 times the soldiers. And what happened next is one of the most incredible stories ever told. The Japanese knew Kublai Khan would return. It wasn't a possibility, it was a certainty. The Kamakura shogunate made an unprecedented decision: build a stone defensive wall along the entire length of Hakata Bay, kilometers of coastal wall to stop the landing. They also changed how they fought. They partially abandoned individual dueling and began training in group tactics. They built smaller, faster boats to attack the enemy fleet before it could land. 7 years of preparation. 7 years knowing the world's greatest army would return to their shores. In 1281, Kublai Khan launched the second invasion, this time with no margin for error. 4,400 ships, between 140,000 and 150,000 soldiers, the largest seaborne army in medieval history. To put that in perspective, the D-Day landings in 1944, considered the greatest amphibious operation in modern history, involved 156,000 soldiers. Kublai Khan nearly matched that number 663 years earlier. This time, the wall worked. The Mongols couldn't land en masse. For weeks they fought in front of the Japanese defenses without being able to advance. Japanese boats, smaller and more agile, attacked the Mongol fleet at night, burning ships, cutting anchor chains, creating chaos. But the numbers were overwhelming. The Japanese were holding on, but for how long? The answer came on August 15, 1281. A typhoon, possibly the most devastating Japan had seen in centuries, fell directly on the Mongol fleet for 2 full days. The result was catastrophic for the invaders. It's estimated that between 100,000 and 130,000 Mongol soldiers died, drowned, crushed by their own ships, or massacred on shore by Japanese samurai as they tried to escape the water. Of the 4,400 ships, barely a third returned. Kublai Khan never attempted to invade Japan again. The Japanese had a name for the storm that saved them twice: Kamikaze, divine wind, the wind the gods sent to protect the sacred islands. The 2 storms weren't just meteorological, they were psychological. They reinforced the Japanese belief that their islands were sacred and invincible, that the gods would protect them. That belief lasted 700 years. In 1944, as World War II was devastating Japan, Admiral Takejiro Onishi created a special unit of suicide pilots who would crash their planes into enemy ships. He gave them the name of the storms that had saved Japan in the 13th century. He called them Kamikaze, a word born from 2 medieval typhoons that destroyed the most powerful army of their era, transformed into a symbol of ultimate sacrifice 7 centuries later. History doesn't repeat itself, but sometimes it rhymes in ways no one expects. The Mongol Empire conquered almost the entire known world, but Japan, twice, was saved by something no army can fight: nature. And from those 2 storms came one of the most recognizable words in the modern world. Now tell me, do you think it was luck or something more? Coincidence or destiny? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want the real story of Miyamoto Musashi next week, the samurai who fought over 60 duels to the death and never lost a single one, subscribe right now. We're here every Friday at 7 p.m. The real stories are always wilder than the legends. See you next week.